What is going on? Welcome to No Chill Promos. How y'all doing? Hope you're having a blessed week so far whenever you're watching this. And before I get into this week's review for NXT, just gotta do a quick shout out to all subscribers to the channel and to the followers on Rumble. It was crazy. This has been interesting because I could have swore I was at like 147 one day, then I was like at like 146 or some shit. I don't fucking know. I know I was at 147. No, I'm not tripping, but I'm back down to 145. I mean, I don't know what the fuck's going on. People are unsubbing, people subbing. Who the fuck knows? But regardless, thank you for everyone that has subbed to the channel. Thank you. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Alright, but enough of that. Let's get into this review. We'll start off with the opening match for the Women's North American Championship. Lonnie Jordan versus Ren Sinclair from No Quarter Catch Crew. It was a good opener. Was a showcase of technical and chain wrestling here throughout the match. Both these ladies can go. Even though I feel Ren is a little underrated, in my opinion. But just gonna fast forward. I'm not gonna really break down these matches this week because I'm playing catch up here. I was busy on Tuesday, so I didn't have enough time to do it then. So I'm just trying to blitz through it because I gotta do this and the AEW Dynamite review also. So yeah, this was a good match. Fast forward, Kalani was getting distracted by Tavion and Miles on the outside, and out of nowhere we see Ren doing a crossbody, taking both those guys out. The camera angle was sick because you just hear she just flies through the fucking air, taking both those guys out. So fast forward, Kalani hits like a RVD kick to the split-legged moonsault of hers for the 1-2-3. It's still the Women's North American Champion, Kalani Jordan. So we move on. Next we see Trick Williams out here promoting his title match next week on the CW premiere. This is good. I like this, and I really hope that they do good in the ratings next week. But we shall see. Next we see a little press conference with Sarah looking fine as hell this week with the current NXT World Champion, Mr. All Ego, Ethan Page. He answered 3 questions. First question was about him. He said that he's a cut above everyone else, and that's why he is the current NXT World Champion. Second question was in regards to Trick. He said how, yeah, he's a former NXT World Champion, and kudos to him. He did that in under, 3 years? That's impressive. He's resilient. But it's going to take more than resilience to beat Mr. All Ego, Ethan Page. Third question was in regards to CM Punk. He said, I don't think CM Punk is going to be a factor at all. And as a matter of fact, this press conference is done. And I'm going to pay Mr. CM Punk a visit to make sure he calls it right down the middle. And that's all that happened here, so we move on. Next, we see old Phil Brooks, Mr. CM Punk, backstage chopping it up with the young OG, Javon Evans. And he was telling him, well, Javon was like, yo, how you be getting all these hoes around here, man? What's your secret? And CM Punk was like, oh, well, I do this, and this, just rizz them up, I'm joking. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But they get interrupted by Trick Williams. And Trick was like, hey, Punk, I appreciate you being a special guest referee. It's just been chaotic around here. And Ethan Page is going to try to do everything in his power. Every underhanded trick to try to keep that belt around his waist. I ain't going out like no sucker. Punk was like, look, man, I've been watching you, but you still managed to be in the world title picture to the fact that you got a title match next week. All right, I'm proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. I know Ethan Page is going to cheat. I'm not going to let that happen. And I'm not going to say you're going to cheat. I'm just saying that I'm going to call it right down the middle to make sure the best man wins next week. So good luck to you out there. And that's it. So we move on. Next we get a Grayson Waller effect from A-Town Down Under. And before I continue, what a stupid fucking name. I mean, like, A-Town Down Under. What the fuck does that even mean? who's the creative that comes up with these names? A-Town Down Under, the War Raiders, like in a Pure Fusion Collective? Garbage. It's garbage fucking names. But I digress. Basically, Austin Theory did the whole meme where he's like, I'm the baddest motherfucker in the game. I'm only 25 years old. I'm a 2-time United States champion, former Money in the Bank. I beat John Cena at WrestleMania. I'm Austin Theory, motherfucker. 8-Town down, bitch. Nah, he didn't say all that, but he just mentioned the 2 accomplishments that he's always bragging about. Alright, he calls the NXT audience trash because they keep chanting like they suck or whatever. Grayson Waller was like, well, without further ado, let's bring out our guests. You got one that looks like Kurt Cobain, the other a Power Ranger. Ladies and gentlemen, Fraxium. I'm like, Fraxium's crazy, first off. Second, Kurt Cobain, maybe like from like Alibaba, or like a Temu version of Kurt Cobain. But yeah, I never really seen Kurt Cobain and Lee through Frazier. But they come out, Grayson Waller was giving them praise. He was talking about like, well, him and Austin, they're like, man, you guys are incredible, like super fast, super athletic. You know, you come out here, you do your 540s, your 800s, you know, you do your little Spanish pretzels, man. It's very impressive, I must say. All right. And fast forward, Nathan was like, look, man, it's like, I know we're on the Grayson Waller effect, but how come it's not called the Grayson Waller and Austin Theory effect, right? But you see the look on Theory's face. He was like, hey, you got shit to say. Fast forward, they attack Nate and Axiom. They hold up the titles to end the segment. So I wouldn't be surprised if they win the NXT championships. Do they need to? No. They're on fucking SmackDown. I don't like them being down here. Just tells me that again, they're not doing jack shit on fucking SmackDown. And then, as a matter of fact, you know, Cody needs challengers, right? Cody Monet, instead of, you know, interjecting them in bloodline business that doesn't even fucking need them. You know, how come these two aren't trying to challenge them for the fucking Universal title? I'm just saying, motherfucker that's not even defending his belt at Bad Blood. It's garbage. Fucking garbage. But yeah, y'all keep making excuses out there for Cody Rhodes and his fucking legendary title reign. Man, get the fuck out of here. It's so fucking garbage. But moving on. Next we see Aura Mensa, Alexis King backstage. Alexis was like, look, Aura, you blindsided me the other day, and I don't want to keep going down this path. You know, I attack you, you attack me. Like, it's not going to get us anywhere. Alright? Look, and I can clearly tell that you don't have a good relationship with your father. And Aura was he's about to smack his ass. But Alexis was like, look, my father wasn't even there at all. But if he was here, he would want me to be the better man. So tonight, be the best man win. Sticks his hand out, Aura Mensa shakes his hand, and we have an unexpected babyface turn from Alexis King. But we'll get to the match later on. So next, we see my favorite tag team here at NXT. You got Hank Rogan and Tank Franco. They're talking about how, you know, we used to look up to the Good Brothers. You know, they're former multiple-time tag team champions. But they fucked up the moment they cost us our shot for the NXT tag team titles. Tank was like, there's going to be a little bit of sugar, there's going to be a little bit of spice, and not a damn thing is going to be nice because revenge is on the mind. Hank then says, there's only 2 truths in this world. We hit first and we hit last. Honk, honk. It reminds me of that segment with The Rock. I forgot who he was talking to. Was it Kane? Or it might have been the NWO. What do you say? That's what that shit reminded me of for some reason. I don't know why. They have a match later on with the Good Jobbers, but we'll get to that here in a bit. Next, we go back to a little lounge area where we see Carmen Petrovic and Brinley Reese getting warmed up, and in walks in Ashanti the Adonis carrying that rose. He said, who's gonna be the lucky woman today to receive this rose? Is it you? He points at, what's her name? Fucking Carly? Is it Carly Bright? I think her name is. Then Kendall was like, nah, get the fuck out of here. All right. And then he talks to Brandley, and then Brandley was like, oh, who's going to get the rose today? And then Ashanti was like, well, wouldn't you like to know? And he's like, they cost you your match last week. And Carmen was like Brandley, that's a little harsh. All right. And Ashanti was like, bro, you're not getting the rose anyway. He then walks up to Tatum Paxley. He's like, ooh, you a freak. I'm a freak too, girl. I ain't afraid of you. And Tatum was like, my heart belongs to someone else. And he was like, me too, girl. Bruh, saying that without laughing is impossible. All right. But before he walks away, he's like, miracles don't happen twice. And he looks at Carmen and just walks away. And then Carmen, you can see the Riz is working on Carmen. All right. She can't get her mind right. All right. But we'll get to that later on. So next, we get the tag team match between Hank and Tank versus the Good Jobbers. So we're going to fast forward to the finish. Hank and Tank hit their tag team finisher where Hank has Luke Gallows up for the kind of like a running power slam. And then Tank comes in kind of like with a running shoulder block. And they both hit it simultaneously for the 1, 2, 3. And so the winners is Hank and Tank. Or as I like to call them, Hank Rogan and Tank Franco. Beating the Good Jobbers again, clean as a whistle. Alright? And like I said for the Good Jobbers, just go back to New Japan. And it's like Damian Priest always says, you're done, you're washed, it's over. It's as simple as that, you know? It's not too late for the Machine Gun Carl Anderson to have a singles career that he was meant to have in New Japan. Alright? That's what I want to see happen. Alright? But we move on. And next we see the Young OG and Cedric Alexander talking backstage, and then they get confronted by the dumbass name of A-Town Down Under. And then Austin was like, oh look who it is, Mr. Javon Evans, the youngest, fastest rising star here at NXT. It kind of reminds me of myself. Alright, but look at all of what I've accomplished since I left NXT. And why are you listening to Uncle Seti over here, man? This dude hasn't done shit in his entire time here. Alright? Then Cedric was like, that's cute. Well, my boy Javon has a better chance of beating Randy Orton than you two chumps have a chance of winning the NXT tag titles. Austin was like, did you not just see what we did out there? Like, we dropped them, put them down, A-Town down, alright? Javon then stands up. He was like, Uncle Seti is my boy. Alright, and I got Orton next week, but I could throw down you guys right now. Alright, and he's like, hey, is that what I think that is? Hey, Kevin Owens, what up? And then A-Town Down Under looked back at her like, what the fuck? And then Javon was laughing at him. And I'm like, look at these two, man. And the Cedric's like, why you acting all scary for him, man? And then they both walk away laughing at him. And Briggs is well like, hey, we ain't scared of no Kevin Owens. We ain't scared of nobody. And that's it. And then next, we get the match between Lexis King and Ora Mensa. This was a quick match, but at the beginning, we see them shake hands, confirming that Lexis King is a babyface. Because we're going to fast forward to the finish. Like you see, Lexis King has his foot on the ropes, could have got the win, but he stops the pin. He was like, I ain't going to win like that. I ain't going to do it. Not like that. All right? But then Ora was like, oh, I will. So he does the same exact thing that Lexus did and gets to win. All right. So that's good storytelling right there. And then we see Ora celebrating with Lash and Jakara. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. You know? And Lash looking fine as hell as always. All right. And yeah, so this confirms that Lexus is now a babyface, which is crazy. Moving on, we see a video package with the Don of NXT. Tony D'Angelo. He's out there training with the D'Angelo family. Stacks is like, hey boss, I know you got your title match next week against Obafemi in your rematch, but it's time we go back to the old school way of doing things. You know, go back to the old school training. All right, Oba, he's not a machine. He's a man. To just be more of a man than he is. And Tony was like, okay. So they do like the whole little Rocky IV training sequence. This was cool. All right. And I was trying to do like the play a little clip of it in the intro, but I was gonna play the song. There's no easy way out. You know that song? But I couldn't. I got hit with both copyrights for both fucking the NXT footage and the song. So I'm like, well, fuck it, I tried. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know the song. This is Rocky 4. You got Tony, who's Rocky, and you got Oba, who's Drago. I must break you. Alright? So I'm loving this. This is easily my favorite story being told in NXT right now. It's not even close. Alright? But this was great, but we move on. We get a match between Rich Holland and Riley Osborne, aka Evan Bourne 2.0. Alright, and before Rich can even finish its entrance, we see a tope con hilo from Riley here. He ain't playing. He said it's on site. Fuck that. Alright, so these two, it was a quick match, but it was pretty much a brawl for most of the match. Now fast forward to the finish. Rich hits the Redeemer DDT for the 1, 2, 3. Fast forward, he tries to take him out like he did Duke Hudson like 2 weeks ago, but Riley counters with a super kick, and then security comes to pull him away. This was also good. Riley, he was like, I ain't going out like no chump. Alright, because he is the last remnant of Chase U still standing. So the feud continues, and we move on. Next, we see The Miz, who announces that next week there will be a Miz TV segment between the Hula, Obafemi, and the Don, Tony D'Angelo. Hey, they're putting everybody on this fucking episode next week. Hot damn. But yeah, we move on. Next, you see the current NXT North American champion, the Hula, Obafemi, and his little press conference. Right? First question was like, hey, what's your reaction to you being on Miss TV next week? Oba says, I have none. Next question, well, how do you feel about Tony's training video? Oba says, Tony can fool all of you people. He can fool his family. He can even fool himself. But he can't fool me. Tony is a broken man. I can see it in his eyes. Oba then says, I am done answering questions. And then that's it. He walks away. Alright, Oba had enough. Alright, so we move on. Next, we see this heated exchange between Wesley and Zachary Wentz. Wes was like, is a mic on? Can you hear me? And it's like Zachary was like, yeah, I can hear you, piece of shit. You know, like, how could you do that to Trey? Huh? Like, you attack your brother in the parking lot like a piece of shit? Well, you know what? Just like I did in No Mercy, I'm gonna fuck you up. Alright? And Wes was like, look, man, all I wanted to ask you was just how Trey was doing. And don't get it twisted. Alright? Like, we're separated for your protection. Alright? Because you buck up to me, I'll smash your head through a fucking drywall. And do me a favor while you're at it. Make sure Gigi ain't watching next week. Which I'm like, oh shit, he broke the fourth wall. Motherfucker thinks he's Deadpool now. Alright, and Zachary's like, tell me you didn't just say that. Right? You keep my fiance's name out your fucking mouth. Next week, I'm gonna fuck you up. Matter of fact, where are you at right now? I'm coming to you right now. So he walks away, right? And Wes is like, where's he think he's going, huh? Like, oh, he's headed here? Oh, man, shit, say less. He's like, hey, where you at, huh? And then they start fighting in the backstage area until security comes and breaks them up. So this was good. I enjoyed the segment, and I'm looking forward to the match. And I want Wesley to win, but we shall see. But moving on, we see a little video package of the history of NXT here on the USA Network, because this is officially the last episode that aired on USA. And I'm watching this, and I'm just like, man, oh man, the memories, the nostalgia, just going down memory lane. Like, and I've been watching NXT on and off, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't watching like the whole time. Like, I didn't see, like, I missed the majority of Undisputed Era's run. I damn sure wasn't watching Johnny Gargano's run, or Tommaso Ciampa's, or Velveteen Dream and all that shit, Ricochet and Malachi Black. I missed all that. Alright, I did watch Adrian Neville's run, Sami Zayn's run, Finn Balor's run, Shinsuke champion? I think he was. Shinsuke's run, Samoa Joe's run, Karrion Kross's run. That's the shit I remember watching. So, and up until back when NXT 2.0 picked up, and Braun Breaker, was the champion down there for like over a year. So yeah, that's the shit I mainly remember. So yeah, this was cool to see, and yeah, I mean, hey, as they say, all good things must come to an end. And them moving from USA to CW is a downgrade, but I hope it works out for them. I really do, because NXT is the best show out of the main three, from Raw and SmackDown, in my opinion. And it just sucks that they don't get the viewership that they deserve. Alright, but it's like hardcore fucking main roster fans don't care about NXT for whatever reason. I don't understand it. Like it's under the same fucking programming, but they don't give two fucks about NXT for the most part. So it is what it is, and I hope they do good in the ratings on CW. But I gotta move on. And next we see two of the sexiest women here on NXT. You got Lola Vice, and you got Jada Parker. Hey, Miss Parker, all right. And Ava, I mean, she's decent, not too shabby herself. But she's like, look, Lola, you had beef with Fatal Influence. Jada, you had beef with Fatal Influence. So next week, both you two are gonna get your hands on Fatal Influence in a tag team match. Jada Parker is like, oh hell nah, man. What? Why not even come here? And Lola was like, okay, see, but nah. Like they're arguing. It was like, look, I don't give a shit what you two gotta do to come together, but the match is official, so y'all can get the stepping. Get out of my office. All right. Next, we get a tag team match between Carmen Petrovic and Brinley Reese versus Rosemary and Wendy Jo. Decent match, and while this match was taking place, Kalani Jordan was backstage doing her little press conference segment. All right. We're just gonna fast forward to the finish. We see Ashanti the Adonis coming out to give his flower to his next Snow Bunny of the week. Alright, Carmen goes out, confronts Adonis. She's like, why'd you give her the rose, huh? What are you doing out here? Adonis was like, hey, relax, baby girl. Alright, whatever fucking said. He's like, your time gonna come, alright? So while Carmen was distracted by Adonis's undeniable riz, alright? In the ring, Rosemary hits the as above, so below finisher, and that's what's called to Brinley Reese for the 1, 2, 3. So finally, Rosemary gets a fucking win here on NXT. Even though her record is 1-3, a win's a win, damn it. And I'm glad she won. Alright, but we see Carmen over there looking stupid. Alright, and even fast forward, she doesn't even care that her tag team lost. She cares more about Adonis out here risking up all the snow bunnies in the NXT building. Alright, which it's funny because I seen a picture of it was Carmen Petrovic and 50 Cent. It was like, I don't know, it's a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, this is like the most random picture I've ever seen in my life. Like, that's crazy. So Carmen Petrovic is a confirmed snow bunny, and that's what I like to see. Alright, but we move on. Next, we see CM Punk, old Phil Brooks, talking to Sol Ruka backstage, trying to get her number. See, that's the real fucking reason this asshole is down here, to talk to the ladies. You don't give a fuck about Trick, you don't give a fuck about Ethan Page. That's the real reason right there. Don't be fooled by CM Punk. The only thing he cares about is getting as much punane down in NXT as he can. Alright, but Ethan Page intervenes and he says, look, I'm irritated to the fact that you had to become the special guest referee next week. Alright, and look, I've been where you're at. Alright, and I don't have time for your drama. Alright, I've worked too hard to lose this NXT World Championship, and I'll be damned if I lose it next week because of you. Alright, Punk was like, drama? Hey, look, you mean how you try to, robo trick behind the referee's back? Look, none of that shit's gonna happen next week. Alright, my job is to call it right down the middle, to make sure your ass doesn't cheat. And look, next week is your chance to prove that you are the man, that this is the era of all ego Ethan Page. Alright, and if you win next week, I'll raise your hand. Hell, I'll even put the belt around your waist. But if you're not the guy that wins next week, then I won't. That's all he said here, so we move on. Next, we see the press conference for Fatal Influence. Fallon says, we're not telling you guys shit about who's gonna face Jada and Lola next week. Alright. Jasmine was like, yeah, we're confident. Alright. Why wouldn't we be? Don't answer that. It's rhetorical, dumbass. JC then says that NXT has the strongest women's roster in the world, which is true. She says that Kalani Jordan doesn't deserve to be the women's North American champion. I do. Alright, and before she can finish, they get interrupted by Jada and Lola Vice. They come storming in and they want all the smoke, but security stops. The segment ends and we move on. We get the match between Javon Evans, a young OG, and Uncle Seti, Cedric Alexander, versus A-Town Down Under. What a dumbass fucking name. Of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. A good tag team match. I don't know. I think I might have to go with Kalani Jordan and Ren Sinclair as the match of the night, to be honest. But this match was mainly to showcase the young OG's athleticism. Alright, because this man was going crazy. Alright, he did like a suicide dive to Grayson Waller. He does a tope con hilo onto Austin Theory, and the height this man gets is insane. Probably, arguably, he might be the best athlete in the WWE right now. You can make that argument. But we're going to fast forward to the finish. Alright, we see the young OG on the top turnbuckle going for the Sky Twister. Alright, but Nathan Frazier gets involved, Action pulls him down, but he accidentally pulls the rope, causing Javon to fall down. So Grayson Waller takes advantage. He hits that jumping prettier, tags in Austin Theory, who was the A-Town Down for the 1, 2, 3. Alright, so A-Town Down Under goes over due to Fraxium's interference. Alright, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to win the tag titles. I don't fucking know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So we move on to Trick Williams' press conference. He says that NXT is going in a new direction, and Trick Williams needs to be the face of NXT. Alright? I need to get my emotions in check, and best believe I was an NXT champion before, and I will be NXT World Champion again. So best believe come next week in Chicago, Ethan Page, I'm gonna whoop that trick and get back my NXT World title. That's basically all he said here, so we move on. We get the final segment of the night, which is a contract signing between Julia and Roxanne. Let me say this shit was terrible. Okay, awful. Like, because you got Roxanne, who has no charisma, stale, just completely dry in her delivery. And you got Julia, who still working on her English. She tried, but she cut most of her promo in Japanese. So it doesn't really fucking matter what both these two chicks said. What matters is what happens at the end. And that's Stephanie Vakir finally showing up in NXT. The sexy goat demon chick cuts a promo basically saying how, because she's working on her English as well. She says that even if Roxanne beats Julia, she has to worry about her next. So it ain't looking good for Roxanne as her days are numbered. Alright, hopefully it ends next week. And Julia, who in my opinion needs to win next week. She needs to win the NXT Women's Championship. Alright, it's plain and simple. Alright, Stephanie can wait. Like Roxanne had her fucking time. She needs to get her ass called up to Raw or SmackDown. I don't even fucking care. She could go to Speed for all I care. Alright, her time in NXT is done. Alright, drop the belt so you can move the fuck on with your career. Alright, so next week's gonna be interesting. But that's it for this week for NXT. And as I mentioned earlier, this was officially the last episode under the USA Network era. And it was a good way to go out. It was a good episode overall, I must say. I enjoyed it. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about this shit. So if you watch NXT this week, let me know how y'all felt about this week's episode. Love it, hate it, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's all the same to me. I just want to see the engagement and the feedback from you guys. And I seen a dislike. I'm like, because I seen my Psycho Sid little tribute video that's been getting some views, and I seen there was some, and you gotta be an asshole. I don't give a shit. You gotta be a complete fucking asshole to dislike a tribute video. Like, what could you possibly dislike about a tribute video? You know, to someone that passed on. All right, I'm just paying my respects to the man known as Psycho Sid in the professional wrestling world. How the fuck you dislike that? Like, I know you can't please everybody. There's always gonna be some hating ass motherfucker. Like, oh, we got a couple haters? We got a couple haters out there? There's always that dude. All I'm saying is, don't be that dude. I just can't imagine I'm just watching some type of tribute to whoever it may be, and I'm just like, no, I don't like it. Just like, it's like, really? like the Miz says, like, really? That's what you're doing, huh? But next video will be the AEW Grand Slam review this week. All right, so look forward to that. Wasting enough of your guys' time. So with that said, be safe, be blessed, take care of yourself, and trust in God. I'm out of here. Till next time, adios.